Alright, so I just rewatched Avatar Theatrical Edition for the first time since about 2012. And my reaction is that, boy, this movie actually has held up pretty well after all this time. I do remember the first time I saw this movie back in late 2009. I was only 12 and a half years old, and I was absolutely flabbergasted, blown away with just how great this movie was visually. I do know that it's not perfect. I mean, it has a good story, and Sam Worthington does play a very likable and rootable character. He's just like kind of the grunt who's just had enough of his old life and just wants to start fresh in the form of this new body he's given, which is the Avatar. Not Airbender Avatar, no, the blue skin, big blue man Avatar. And to do this, he has to jump in like this sort of Matrix-esque AI, well, not AI, MRI machine, which transfers his mind to the Avatar mind. And through that, he gets his legs back. There's like a very cool scene where he like moves his feet around and he gets up without the hospital like telling him to, and they try to stop him, but he just runs out the door and just starts running across the field. And one thing that I forgot about this film is just how beautiful it looks. And even after all this time, I think the CGI has actually aged very well. Not perfectly, I mean, it does look a little bit bad in some areas. It is a bit dated in some bit, but it still holds up to be a pretty damn good looking movie, even after almost 10 years after it's been released. I mean, I think December 2019 was this movie's 10th anniversary. And I remember it was the very first movie I watched in 3D. Now, I'm not talking about the black and blue Spy Kids 3D. No, I mean, honest to God, real D 3D. I think, no, Bolt. Bolt in 2008 was the first time I ever watched a movie in real D. And it was like, it wasn't like the ones that you saw in the early 2010s, like the flimsy glasses that just had the film. These were like goggles. They were like almost like welder glass-eyed goggles. They were heavy, they were thick, and they were using Bolt. And then the next two movies I saw in 3D were Avatar in 2009, followed by How to Train Your Dragon 1 in early 2010. Now, these two movies kind of showed me the power of 3D in cinema. For one, it was world building in Avatar, and two, just how cinematography could be enhanced by 3D in How to Train Your Dragon 1 with the extremely vivid and kinetic flight scenes that are used in the dragon flight scenes in How to Train Your Dragon 1, which I think were improved upon in How to Train Your Dragon 2. And 3 more so. I mean, the animation was improved in 3, but 1 and 2 were the staples for me. Anyway, back to Avatar. I mean, this movie does have a good message about, like, protecting the environment, and a lot of people said it's preachy. I mean, like, Honest Trailers got into this, kind of really ripped into this film when it first came out, saying it's an environmental message about saving the environment, and, oh, we'll get it, James Cameron, we'll recycle, just please make another Terminator already. And to be honest, the main reason I decided to rewatch this movie today was because I saw on YouTube that the Nostalgia Critic was going to rip into this movie as well. And I think, uh-oh, I better watch this movie before Doug Walker, shits all over it, I guess. But, I'm pretty sure I do like his reviews, and I'm pretty sure he'll give a fair critic analysis of this movie, which I'm probably going to watch tomorrow. So that was the main reason why I got back to this movie, because I wanted to watch it one last time before I dived into a Nostalgia Critic episode of him basically tearing the movie to shreds. What else can I say about this movie? I think it is a classic. This is kind of like the send-off to the 2000s, in my opinion. This was the movie. This is kind of like the same thing that The Matrix did for the end of the 90s. I feel like the Avatar, along with The Dark Knight, was kind of the send-off of the 2000s. And the transition into 2010 movie technology was the advent of this film, which was later cemented in How to Train Your Dragon, Inception, and eventually the MCU films and the Avengers. And the Avengers was kind of the foot in the ground of saying, okay, this is 2010 cinema. And I'll probably get to that movie later on, but I would probably still give this movie a solid, probably 7.5 out of 10. It's not perfect, and it's bordering on, I mean, I thought it was bordering a masterpiece when it came out, but it does have its flaws. It does have some holes and some plot holes, and it does feel like the story could have been a tad more detailed. And to be honest, I'm actually looking forward to the second Avatar movie. I don't know what the story will be because now humanity's out of it. It's just going to be Jake Sully and the Na'vi folk, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready to be blown away by the early 2020s graphics that probably James Cameron's been working on for almost like 9 years now since the release of the first movie. He hasn't really done anything apart from touching on Terminator Dark Fate, which wasn't really that great. It was good, but it was okay at best. Terminator 2 is still the best Terminator movie. I actually haven't seen T3 or T4 or T5. I've only seen T1, T2, and T6, and Titanic. But it's been a long time since I've seen Titanic. I don't think I've seen Titanic since like 2011. So that's another movie that I'll have to catch up on. But yeah, if you have not seen this movie, I suggest you watch the extended cut, because I just rewatched the Blu-ray theatrical version. I did have the extended DVD cut back in 2011, and I think I sold it off about a few months ago. So I haven't seen the extended cut all the way through for a very long time now, but after watching this version, it was good. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. And I wish the best for James Cameron and the cast. I did really like Sigourney Weaver's repeat performance in this, because as you can tell, I'm a massive fan of the Alien movies. And I hope she comes back in later movies. I know she's not going to come back in some, because, spoilers. Okay, spoiler from point on. Yeah, she dies. She dies in this movie. But the movie's 10 years old, so if you haven't watched it by now, you'll probably watch it now. I mean, why would you have not watched this movie? It was everywhere when it came out. But anyway, I'm rambling. 7.5 out of 10. A great movie. Is it one of James Cameron's best movies? Probably behind the Terminator films. This would be 3, followed behind by Titanic. I do like this movie more than Titanic, even though Titanic would be a 7 out of 10. It would be, the movie behind this movie would be Titanic, for sure. But T2 is still my favourite James Cameron movie. That's a 10 out of 10. And T1's a 9 out of 10. But anyway, see it. I'll see you soon.